two responses to that. One, I think that, well, three really. One is a universal comment, which is that I think it's absolutely amazing. It's on the most splendid, like, meteorological day that I've seen in Canada since out of the 2 years I've spent in Toronto. This is like the most beautiful day. Second of all, I think that Canadian actors are some of the best actors I've ever met in my life. I feel that they remind me a lot of New Zealand and Australian actors that I work with, and that they're often really highly trained before, and they have a good deal of experience. They have had a good proportion of but by the time your average Canadian actor has been in the business 7 to 10 years, they've run the gamut of musical theatre to to drama, to stage, like and to comedy. They're universally really seasoned, and that's kind of what I loved about working in New Zealand. I felt like back home you became an actor because you had to, not because it was going to make you a hell of a lot of money. You did it to get good. The very deceiving thing, and I live in Los Angeles, so and living in the States, the kind of the holy grail tends to be sort of a modicum of fame or being in the biggest and the brightest sort of tentpole movies, rather than really becoming very good at what you do. And I think Canadians exemplify a kind of an almost sort of Spartan-like commitment to being a good actor. I've never seen, on this show, there are guest stars who literally come on for like a moment, a scene, a second, and they're breathtaking actors. I think that you guys have some of the best actors in the world. I really do. And I've acted with people from all over the world, so I feel very blessed to be here and among that company. It makes you want to be on your A game. In terms of the other aspect of the question, like film festivals, look, I've spent the better part, like I directed my first film like a couple of years ago, so I spent the last couple of years traveling in and around film festivals. I think they're one of the most important kind of outlets for exhibition of a film. I think that they're the last sort of bastion of hope. Like, when as a filmmaker myself, like you don't create a film so that it can be seen on an iPhone or an iPad. You do it so that it can be seen on a movie screen, and whether that's a short film, whether it's 7 minutes long, or if it's a 2.5-hour epic, you kind of want, the independent filmmaker deserves to be heard as much as a Michael Bay or as much as a James Cameron. In fact, those voices are almost more important because they're going to be the sound of tomorrow. And I think if Canadian filmmakers are anywhere near the caliber of Canadian actors, then you've got some sensational films coming your way in the next 10 years or so. Showtime bought my film, and on May 15th they're showing my film at, I should know the time by heart, they're showing a double feature of the making of my film and my film itself. It was sort of finished a couple of years ago, and to have just sold it is sort of weird for me, I feel very blessed that it's on. See, speaks a little bit to the times we're in now. Unfortunately, film festivals, while wonderful, don't get to as nearly as many eyeballs. Even if you get a limited release in the United States or Canada, say you get a decent domestic release, like say you get 100 cinemas, you might not get anywhere near the eyeballs on it that you would get if you get a Showtime release, which seems ludicrous to me, because if you'd asked me 5 years ago, hey, would you rather be in a limited theatrical release or go on to a respected cable network, I would have told you every time I would rather be in the theaters, just out of pride. But truthfully, now I'm a little bit of a different mindset, because the rules have changed. The rules have changed. Look at studios, they're making less and less movies now. They're making like 5-6 movies a year. So these are the same studios that were making literally hundreds and thousands of movies a year only, several decades ago, and it's weird. and it's sad because it's kind of our movies, our tentpole movies now look more like 3D carnival rides and look like more like something that you'd see at Universal Studios. Like, you know, if you require 3D glasses, just the chances are you're going to the movies. They're entertainment, and they're not the same as a really deep and human experience, which, and luckily, and I think festivals sort of, film festivals like this champion, you know, great filmmakers.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
with an actual voice who are saying something about the human condition. From a personal perspective, I don't want to do spoilers for anybody else. My character's just become the sort of the chief of surgery there, so he's now sort of like he's kind of running the show a little bit there. He may be a little bit in over his head insofar as that he has a lot more administrative duties than he does than he's experiencing tests of his surgical prowess.